Alright, welcome to another crappie moment. We are fishing at that water temperature between 56 today and 61 degrees depending on where I'm at on the lake. Had some cooler weather, not so bad today. Got a little breeze today, not terrible wind, so always happy about that. 7.5 foot ACC Crappie Stix using that 20-pound no fade braid. It's Hercules from Amazon. I'm using that 16th ounce sickle hook with that Slab Happy Lures kryptonite color. Got that 8mm bead, and I'm using that number 5 split shot. Going to be talking about jig head size today. Does it matter? Going to get into that in a minute. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, take a moment to do that for me. Hit that like button, leave me a comment. Appreciate everybody tuning in every week. Let's get out here and see if we can find us some fish. Got him that time. Got him that time. Can't believe he did that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe he did that. Missed him that first time. Came back and got it the second time. That is just a chunk. My soul. Loving that. Alright, right there is 16, 15. Come on. Come on. I really messed that one up. That was ugly. That was ugly, but got the job done. There we go. All right, I use a 16th ounce jig head most of the year. That's my go-to size for most of the year. You know, I'm using that 20-pound no fade braid. It's awesome. Had it on there all year long. Just looks as good today as it did when I put it on. I don't use a leader. I know a lot of people like to use a leader. I don't use one. You know, I just tie my jig straight to my braid. If you like to use a leader, that's okay. Use what works for you. I do put that number 5 split shot on there above where my jig is at. You know, some people ask why not just use a bigger jig head. Well, there's a couple reasons why I don't usually use a bigger jig head. First of all, the 16th ounce jig gives me the best versatility with the bait size that I'm using most of the time. And second of all, that split shot is what I use to help get that bait down faster without having to use a bigger jig head where my bait is at. I don't like having a bigger jig head if I can get away with it. So also add that 8mm bead on there to give a stronger return to find my jig faster, and that bead really doesn't add any extra weight on there. I don't tie it on there. It's got a hole in it. I just loop it through that hole twice, and that's it. That's all I do with that bead, and the weight of that jig just keeps it in place, and I can easily slide it up and down if I need to. So you know, this is what I'm using, you know, most of the year. And I think, and this is just me, I think, you know, that jig head size does matter. This is the, you know, Eagle Claw sickle hook. This is a 16th ounce. And I do think, you know, jig size, jig head size does matter. You know, I like using a 16th. I think it's the most versatile. Some people like using an 8th ounce all the time. Other people like using a 32nd. You know, everybody's different. But for me, that jig head size at a 16th gives me that best versatility for me being able to easily go from a small 1.5 inch curly tail grub to like a 2-inch slab happy lures, baby shad, or happy shad, Bobby Garlands, or strike king, 1.75 inch paddle tail, or even a crappie magnet 3-inch bait. I like to keep that jig head small, just gives me the best versatility. And you know, I have success with what I'm using. Other people, you know, they use something different. You know, they're having success with what they use. You know, I tell you all the time, use what's working for you. You know, not so much what works for one person, not necessarily going to work for everybody. You know, no one size fits all when it comes to a lot of things when it comes to fishing. So use what's best for you. I feel like when the fish are finicky, I feel like that is when that smaller jig head size is really super important. You know, that smaller profile, that smaller jig head size, that smaller profile bait, I think is super, super important when the fish are finicky during the summertime and they're a little bit deeper than when they normally are, and during the winter time when they're a little bit deeper than what they usually are during other parts of the year. And they're not going to exert a lot of energy. They're not going to be going after those big baits, you know, during those two particular times of the year. And so I like using that smaller profile jig head size. What size do you use? Leave that in the comment below. Let's get out here and see if we can find us some more crappie. Got it. Oh, tanky wanky. Better than a good. That's a tank. There we go. Look at that fat fish. Love it. 22. Got it. There we go. There we go. So when we talk about jig size, you know, we got to be able to read what's going on with the fish. You know, sometimes the fish will tell you what to do. So, you know, if that making those adjustments is being able to change the profile, change the size, change the color, change the jig head size, if it's too small, if it's too big, being able to read the fish and tell what is and what isn't working. Here 10. Got it. There we go. Enticed him. There we go. That's a good fish. That is a good fish. We'll take that all day. By 16, hook a fish. Got it. U-turn. Oh, it's a good one. Gooder. One of them gooders. That's one of them gooders, y'all. Apologize about the footage. It's not turning out that great because there's so much activity you can't really see what's going on. That is a good fish right there. There we go. Got it. He came off the bottom. He came off the bottom. There we go. Got him. Come here. He came off the bottom too. They hugging that bottom so tight, probably not getting very good footage of what's happening with that. And they're just spanking it. Good fish. One, two. Coming. Got it. Good fish. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's a good one. We'll take it. Six. Got it. Popped it quickly. Popped it quickly. All right. Group out there hugging that bottom. Dropping at 20. Come here. Hugging that bottom. Coming to get it. Good fish. There we go. All right, that's going to do it for today. Appreciate you so much for tuning in. What size jig head is your go-to? Love to know that. Leave me that in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. Appreciate all the support. Still such a great time to get out there. We're getting, really close to that on fire fall bite to being over with. Going to be a sad time. We'll still get them during the winter time, but it's just not the same. Hit that subscribe button for me. Smash that like button. Leave me that comment below with your jig head size. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time.